I'm heading back out to the public ground me and my wife were at a few days ago. We checked one camera, and after we got back to the trail from checking that camera, she was literally covered in ticks, like hundreds of them. So I felt bad and told her we needed to get back to the house and get all those things off of her. So anyway, I'm heading back out to that piece of public now to check the rest of the trail cameras and grab them and get them out of there to see what is on there. That first camera we checked was a bust, one small little forked horn, and that was it, some does. So we'll go out here and see if we can't get a big one on these cameras. I just love the way this area down in here looks. Anytime I see a little, like a pine thicket like this, the reason I think it's so good is because when I was little, the first 2 bucks I killed when I was 9 and 10 years old, and they were both good deer. Both of them, I was out of the same stand, and they came out of a little pine thicket like this. So just in my mind that these little pine thickets are good places for bucks to live. A lot of beds in this pine thicket too. My camera's on this tree line down this way a little bit here, so hopefully it's still there. See the really nice rub on that tree down in there. Trail camera's here somewhere close. There it is. Actually, it's fairly open still too. Sometimes I put these up in the spring and I end up getting a bunch of limbs and stuff growing over it and weeds, but this one looks good. Let's see how many pictures are on it. I just ended up replacing that card because I like the way that, I like where that trail camera is. So we will see later if there's any big bucks that have been walking by that camera. I hope so. Finally made it down what used to be a path. That path in quotations was thicker than snot right now. Holy cow. I walked right down at this spring without missing a beat. Still up there. Using my beast stick through that one down though. You can see what this was looking at. It was kind of just looking at this corner where those deer cut through here to go back in the big timber. Look how big that poop is. That's a big pile of poop. Well, it's my third trail cam that's gotten stolen this year. I walked right to the spot I had it marked on X and wasn't there, and I walked around looking for it, seeing if it was maybe on a different tree or something, or I moved it, or just had a brain fart or something and can't find it anywhere. One thing that sucks is I had that big poop right on the trail that camera was on, and I know it sounds funny, but a lot of times those big dumps like that are a good sign of a big buck. So I don't know, it's disappointing. That's my third one this year. But oh well, I guess over the winter I'm gonna have to decide on how I'm going to set up my trail cameras next year, if I'm going to run any, because it's so frustrating getting stolen all the time. That one was even up in the tree. So if you guys have any suggestions on a good camera you like, that's fairly affordable, put them in the comments, let me know. Got a decent 8-pointer, definitely not a shooter, but decent 8-pointer on this camera. There's another picture of him somewhere. I think that's the same deer. Not a real good picture of him. There he is again. A buddy of mine that hunts around here said that this place gets pounded during deer season, and I saw probably 4 different guys on this well, 4 different pictures, and I think there were 6 total guys on this camera, so it definitely gets hit a lot. I must have brought Penny out here with me when I set this one up. She was just a pup. Well, I got 1 camera stolen at that property and 1 that's not working. The one I had over that CRP field took up pictures for about 3 days and then quit working. So that really sucks. It's so frustrating sometimes running cameras, to the point to where I almost just want to just glass in the summertime and find deer. But cameras are sure cool when they work right. And lowlifes don't steal them.
No, and you know, you all use the saddles.
Yeah.
We're getting our.
So I'm back out here on some of the private ground I can hunt, and I had put a couple trail cameras out earlier this year out here. I'm gonna go check them with the 4-wheeler. Typically this spot's really hard to get to because it's usually full of crops from here to the road to the woods, and it's like impossible to sneak back in there without damaging a bunch of crops. But this year, none of it's planted. So I'm able to drive 4-wheeler right up to wherever I need to go, which is, it's nice for me, but really sucks for the farmers, and I hate it for them. But oh well, let's go see what's going on this side of the property. I'll show you what my buck I had an encounter with last year during archery season. He was cruising for does. It was the end of October, and the first time I saw him was in this corner over here. This was corn last year in the field, and he was walking down this field edge, came into the woods about right here, went down across that ditch, walked through here. So he's about 60 yards from my tree. Kept walking, stopped right there, took a left, came right towards me, walked down this way. Now I'm sitting in a climber about right here in this tree, and he's walking this way, and didn't really get a, keep in mind that I have a recurve bow, so I'm trying to get him as close as I can. He's walking right through here, and pretty much if he gets to right there, probably 3 more steps, I got a perfect shot at him. But like they always do, I'm sitting right up in there, and for some reason he detected me right here, and he stopped. We had a stare down for a good little bit. He took a turn straight around and went straight right back out to the field. Never got a shot at him. But if he would have stopped right here, I'd been sitting right there waiting on him at 8 to 10 yards. So a little bit of a heartache, but I ended up killing a nice one during gun season, so oh well. This is a 93 Yamaha Moto 4 350 2-wheel drive. It's pretty rough, but it runs good, starts every time, and it gets me where I need to go. Boy, it is a rough ride though, especially going through these unplanted fields. It knocks you around everywhere. I'm going to show you guys the permanent setup I have. My wife and a buddy hunt here with me quite a bit, so my wife doesn't really care for the hang and hunt style, which is fine. So I have this 15-foot ladder stand up here, and in this spot we always have trouble with deer picking us off because there's no trees with good cover. So I got this tip from Barry Wenzel. He took Christmas trees, like you can buy at a discount after Christmas season, and he said hang them up there around your tree to give you a little more cover. So I'm going to try that this year, see how that works. This will be my kind of my first year giving that a try. Looks kind of silly up there, but I bet it works good. So what this spot is there's a couple oxbows. There's one across the creek, and then there's also one down here on the creek. So there is some bedding on that. It's not like the best bedding I've ever seen, but back in here along that cornfield there's some really good bedding, and a lot of times those deer will travel out of this bedding into this little open woods here, either during the rut to check for doe bedding, or just mingling around before they go out into the fields to feed. So my buddy missed a nice 10-pointer out of this area. We moved the stand a little closer. It actually came across, came down through here to that oxbow. He may have been bedded on that oxbow, came down and came up in here, and walked up this way. He was sitting back in there, took a shot at him and hit a limb. So got it a little closer to the area where the deer tend to cross this year to hopefully get us a little closer shot. Every year I put a trail camera right here on this tree, facing this path that comes out from the cornfield that deer seem to use a lot. This year there's not much of a cornfield out there. There is a little corn planted, but it's real spotty and it looks real bad. So I don't know if they'll end up even harvesting corn out of there, or if they'll end up what they'll do with the that field. Go ahead and put this all set up. Show you guys a little trick. When you're setting your trail cameras up, you kind of want to see what you're going to be dealing with as far as the angle and stuff of your camera. Go to your camera on your cell phone and then turn it upside down to like a selfie mode, and then stick it, on the camera, and that'll give you an idea of the view of the camera on the trail camera. So just take your phone, stick it on selfie mode, and that way you're not pointing it somewhere you don't want to be. That looks pretty good right there. One of the reasons this is my favorite spot to hunt is because there's always a plethora of milkweed out here. But yeah, a lot of guys ask what milkweed is, and Dan has all kinds of good information. But if you see these big broad leaves that you'll see a lot of times like growing on the side of the road in ditches and stuff, that's what milkweed is. And then inside these pods are those little I don't know, seeds that produce the milkweed that we're talking about, that floats around real easy. So they're usually everywhere. You can see here in the CRP field there's all kinds of them. So come back here and pick these on my way out. I used to brag up these cheaper coverts, but man, I've had one fell on me this year, and two other ones, this gasket comes off, which I'm sure it's not that big a deal. You just put it back in there. But still, it's kind of annoying. Someone tore down my posted signs. Farmer had me post his farm here because there's a lot of people that trespass or used to trespass on this land. And he was getting frustrated with it, and anytime a farmer's letting you hunt their farms, it's never a bad thing to try to help them out. Obviously that sign could have been torn down. That sign could have been torn down from weather, or I don't know, a coon or something. But it kind of looks like someone tried to rip it off. Who knows? Some people suck. So, not a fan of those little covert cameras anymore. For one, this one quit taking pictures about a month ago again. And then for two, all my daylight pictures are kind of this like reddish tint. And this is what my night pictures look like on it. Awesome. I got this picture, it's pretty cool. It's a bachelor group of bucks actually. You can see all the knobs on their heads, and there's 7 of them out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I counted 7 a second ago. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's cool. So, what I learned today, I need to invest in some nicer trail cameras. For one, I had 2 of them stop working on me, and another one just take really bad quality pictures that didn't do me a lot of good anyway. So, also, I need to start every trail camera I put on public ground, and probably private ground for that matter, I need to start putting them either high in the tree or getting some lock boxes for them. So it's a struggle today with trail cameras. What trail cameras do you guys recommend using? I think I'm gonna order some of those Exodus Trek that has the 5-year warranty, and they also sell them in like a public land package to where you can it'll come with a lock box and a I think they call it a Python lock. I don't know. You guys have any other suggestions? Let me know in the comments. Until then, guys, see you on the next vlog.